Ladies and gentlemen, friends, champions, there will come a time in your life, if it hasn't come already, when adversity will knock on your door. It won't text you. It won't call ahead. It will just show up, uninvited, unwelcome, and unrelenting. It might come as the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a diagnosis you didn't see coming, a betrayal that rips the floor right out from under you. Life will hit you hard. And if you let it, it'll keep you down. But I came here to remind you of something powerful. You were not born to break. You were born to rise. Now listen to me. Being mentally strong doesn't mean you're unaffected. It doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It doesn't mean you don't cry, scream, or question everything. No, no, no. Being mentally strong means that despite the pain, despite the fear, despite the pressure, you refuse to quit. There's a power inside of you that adversity can't touch unless you surrender it. Let me ask you something. When life punched you in the gut, what did you do? Did you lie down or did you crawl? Did you push? Did you get up swinging? Because let me tell you, life doesn't care how perfect your plan was. It doesn't care how big your dream is. Life will test you to see if you have the heart to go through hell for what you believe in. Every storm you survive, every mountain you climb, every tear you wipe away, that's proof that you've got grit, proof that you've got fight, proof that your spirit is stronger than any storm. But mental strength, let's break it down. How do you stay strong when everything's falling apart? You can't control what people do. You can't control the weather, the market, or the past, but you can control how you respond. You don't get stronger by controlling the world. You get stronger by controlling yourself, your focus, your mindset, your actions. You wake up in the morning and you decide, today I show up. Today I push forward. Today I rise. That decision, that's your superpower. Fear will whisper in your ear, you're not good enough. You'll never make it. It's over. And you've got two choices, believe it or fight back. You fight back with truth. You feed your mind with faith, with hope, with courage. You remind yourself of who you are and who you're becoming. You say, I am built for this. I have survived worse. I am still here. And that means I've got another round in me. See, adversity loves to keep you looking backwards at what went wrong, at what you lost, at who left. But you're not driving your life looking in the rearview mirror. Where you're going is greater than where you've been. You've got to lock your eyes on the next step. One move forward, one breath at a time. Progress, not perfection. Momentum, not miracles. You don't have to conquer the mountain today. Just climb one rock higher than you did yesterday. Words are power. When you're facing adversity, don't use your mouth to describe your pain. Use it to prescribe your future. Don't say, I can't. Say, I will. Don't say, this is the end. Say, this is the beginning of my comeback. Don't say, I'm broken. Say, I'm rebuilding. You speak life, even when you feel death. You speak hope, even when you feel empty, because your words shape your reality. You cannot be mentally strong if you're surrounded by mentally weak people. If you're in a pit, don't link arms with people who want to stay in the pit. Link arms with people who will help you climb out. Surround yourself with warriors, people who speak life, who dream big, who rise early and fight hard, people who don't just want to survive, they want to thrive. Adversity isolates, so you must connect on purpose. Tell me now, every scar you carry, every loss you've taken, it wasn't in vain. Your pain has a purpose. You didn't go through all that just to sit in silence. You survived so you could shine, so you could serve, so you could stand in front of others and say, if I made it, you can too. The adversity that tried to destroy you is the fire that's refining you. It's not the end of your story, it's the turning point. There's someone out there who's going to rise because you didn't quit. Your example will become their permission. Your victory will become their blueprint. So stand tall. You might be tired, you might be bruised, but if you've got breath in your lungs, you've still got fight in your soul. Adversity is real, but so is your strength. So is your resilience. So is your purpose. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your setbacks. You are power. You are purpose. You are still rising. So keep moving, keep believing, keep becoming, because your story isn't over yet. Life is unpredictable. Things happen that are completely outside of our control. Sudden losses, failures, betrayals, unexpected obstacles. And in those moments, panic is the natural response. We feel helpless. We feel small. We feel like we're drowning in a sea of circumstances that we didn't choose. But the truth is, while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond to it. That's where your power lives. The world may throw you into the storm, but your mindset is the anchor. Your focus is your rudder. Your attitude is your sail. You are not powerless unless you decide to give your power away. And most people do just that. They react with panic. They spiral into fear, into frustration, into despair, because they're focusing on all the things they can't control. That's a trap. That's a setup for suffering. When you put your attention on what's beyond your reach, you forget what is within your reach. What's within your reach? Your attitude, your effort, your focus, your habits, your response, your words, your decisions. That's your zone of power. And when everything feels like it's crashing down around you, this is where you must bring your energy back. Not to what's broken, not to who left, not to what went wrong, but to the next decision, the next step, the next breath. You control how you show up. You control what you tell yourself. You control whether you sit in the pain or stand up in the storm. That doesn't mean you won't feel fear. That doesn't mean you won't feel overwhelmed, but it does mean that you don't let those emotions run the show. Feel it? Then choose. A calm mind makes strong decisions. A panic mind makes small problems feel permanent. But power brings clarity. Power brings direction. Power brings action. When you operate from a place of power, you stop being the victim of your circumstances and become the architect of your future. You start asking, what can I do right now? Maybe you can't fix everything, but you can take the first step. Maybe you can't change the whole situation, but you can change your mindset. That shift changes everything. It moves you from powerless to powerful, from scattered to focused, from reaction to creation. Because in every challenge, in every adversity, there are always two battles, the one on the outside and the one on the inside. You win the inner battle and the outer one becomes manageable. You lose the inner one and the rest doesn't even matter. That's why control isn't about force, it's about focus. The more you focus on what you can do, the less overwhelmed you feel by what you can't. That's how champions are made. That's how survivors become leaders. You weren't born to be reactive. You were born to be resilient. And resilience is built in the small moments when you breathe through the fear, when you choose discipline over emotion, when you say, I will not let this define me. That's power. That's control, not over the world, but over yourself. And that's more than enough. Every single day, your mind is consuming information, ideas, and emotion. It's like a garden. Whatever you plant there and whatever you water grows. If you feed it fear, doubt, negativity, and worst case scenarios, then that's exactly what will grow. Your thoughts will begin to mirror your fears. Your actions will follow your anxiety. Your life will shrink to the size of your insecurities. But if you feed it faith, possibility, strength, and truth, your mindset becomes a weapon instead of a weakness. Fear doesn't need evidence to exist. It just needs permission. It starts as a whisper. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if everything falls apart? And the moment you entertain it, that whisper becomes a shout. It multiplies. It finds all your insecurities, all your past wounds, all your doubts, and it magnifies them. Not because they're true, but because fear has a loud voice when you give it silence. Faith, on the other hand, doesn't shout. Faith is quiet, but it's unshakable. It says, even if I don't see the path, I believe I can walk it. It says, I don't need to have it all figured out to take the next step. Faith speaks when fear is screaming, and it reminds you of who you are, what you've overcome, and where you're going. Faith is a choice, a decision to believe in something greater than the problem in front of you. You don't accidentally stay positive. You don't accidentally stay focused. It takes intention. It takes discipline. You have to choose every single day what you're feeding your mind. Are you feeding it with news that keeps you stuck in fear? Are you surrounding yourself with people who constantly doubt and complain? Are you scrolling through comparison and calling it motivation? You need to be deliberate. Read books that speak life into you. Listen to voices that remind you of your power. Fill your mind with stories of people who broke through what tried to break them. Start your day with gratitude and end it with reflection. Speak truth into your own life before the world has a chance to speak lies into it. Be your own source of light before the darkness gets a chance to grow. Fear is always available, but so is faith. The question is, which one are you feeding? Because whichever one you feed more becomes stronger. If you focus on what you can't do, what could go wrong, what you don't have, you'll stay frozen. But if you focus on what you can do, what might go right, and what strength you do have, you'll begin to move. Faith doesn't remove the obstacles, but it gives you the strength to face them. It doesn't erase the storm, but it gives you shelter in it. It doesn't eliminate pain, but it gives your pain a purpose. It reminds you that the situation may be difficult, but it's not your destiny. Fear focuses on the problem. Faith focuses on the possibility. And that difference changes the entire direction of your life. So when fear comes knocking, and it will, you don't let it live in your mind rent-free. You confront it with truth. You tell it, I've come too far to back down now. You remind it that you faced worse and survived. That your mind is not a playground for panic. It's a battlefield where victory begins. Too many people are stuck staring at the rearview mirror of their life. They're replaying old failures, reliving past pain, and rehashing every wrong turn they've ever taken. But here's the truth. You cannot drive your life forward while obsessing over what's behind you. The past is a place of reference, not residence. Your power lies in where you're going, not in what you've already gone through. Every time you give your energy to the past, you drain the fuel needed for your future. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, people hurt you. Yes, there were moments you wish you could erase. But those moments are not the full story. They were chapters, not the whole book. And every chapter in your life, good or bad, prepared you for the one you're about to write. You are not your past decisions, not your failures, not your wounds. You are who you choose to become today, right now, in this moment. Focusing forward means making peace with your past without letting it become your prison. It means forgiving yourself even when others didn't. It means choosing growth over guilt. Because guilt will keep you chained to what you can't change, while growth invites you into what's possible. And what's possible begins the moment you shift your vision away from regret and toward purpose. Life moves in the direction of your focus. If you're constantly focused on what went wrong, what you lost, or who left, then your future will be shaped by your grief. But if you focus on what you've learned, how you've grown, and who you're becoming, then your future will be shaped by your strength. It's not denial, it's discipline. It's choosing to look at your pain and say, you're not my prison, you're my preparation. You don't climb mountains by looking down at the valley you came from. You climb by focusing on each step ahead. Even if the peak is still hidden in the clouds, the next step matters more than the last fall. The next move holds more power than the last mistake. What's behind you doesn't define you unless you allow it to. And some people have been defined by their past for too long. They've allowed broken moments to write the script of their future. But the pen is still in your hand. Every dream you carry, every goal you hold, every desire burning in your heart, that all lives in front of you, not behind. So your energy, your focus, your attention, it all needs to go forward. Let the past educate you, not limit you. Let it teach you, not trap you. Let it guide you, not govern you, because your history is over, but your destiny is still being written. People may try to remind you of who you were, but you must remind yourself of who you're becoming. The world might label you by your past, but you don't have to accept those labels. You get to decide what comes next. You get to decide who you'll be tomorrow. No matter what yesterday looked like, you don't have to have a perfect past to create a powerful future. You just need a clear focus and the courage to move in that direction. The next season of your life demands your full attention, not your divided attention, not your distracted attention, your full attention. And the more you focus forward, the more momentum you create. And with momentum comes transformation. With focus comes clarity. With direction comes purpose. The future doesn't wait for those stuck in the past. It moves with those who are ready to let go and step forward. What you say to yourself in silence matters more than what anyone else ever says to you out loud. Your inner dialogue is not background noise. It's the blueprint for how you see yourself, how you feel, and how you act. Words have power. And the words you choose to speak, even in your mind, create your inner world. You either speak strength into your soul or you drain it. You either plant seeds of belief or you bury yourself under doubt. Too many people are experts at tearing themselves down. They say things they'd never say to someone they love. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Nothing ever works out for me. These aren't harmless phrases. These are programs running in the background of your mind, shaping your choices and defining your identity. The more you repeat them, the deeper they sink. The more you listen to them, the more you live them. But you can't build a powerful life with self-destructive language. You can't expect victory when you're constantly predicting defeat. You have to speak life. You have to declare strength, even when you feel weak. You have to affirm your direction, even when you feel lost. Because the words you speak are not just reflections of what you feel. They are instructions to your subconscious. They are directions to your destiny. When you speak life over yourself, you begin to activate something deeper than emotion. You activate belief. You remind yourself that your struggle doesn't define your value. You say, I am growing through this. You say, I have what it takes. You say, I am not finished. Even if you don't fully believe it in the beginning, keep speaking it. Speak it until your mind catches up. Speak it until your heart aligns. Speak it until your actions reflect it. You're not lying to yourself when you speak life. You're telling the deeper truth. The truth that you have survived every worst day so far. The truth that you've already overcome things others thought would break you. The truth that you carry strength, resilience, and purpose that fear can't erase. Speaking life isn't about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let pain have the final word. Every day is a new opportunity to rewrite your internal dialogue. It's a choice to become your own encourager instead of your worst critic. To look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of how far I've come, instead of picking apart your flaws. To acknowledge progress, no matter how small. To speak as someone who believes in their own worth and potential. Because when you change your language, you change your lens. And when you change your lens, you change your life. Your words set the tone for your energy. They influence the way you carry yourself. They affect how others respond to you. If you constantly speak like someone who is broken, you will move through the world like someone who is defeated. But if you speak like someone who knows they're rising, your steps will start to match your speech. Your mind will begin to believe it. Your life will begin to shift. You are listening to yourself all day long. Make sure what you're hearing is building you, not breaking you. Words are not just sounds. They are seeds. And every seed you plant in your mind grows into something. The question is, are you planting weeds or are you planting roots of greatness? Are you speaking like someone who's giving up or someone who's going up? You can't control every thought that enters your mind, but you can control the ones you water. Choose to speak life. Choose to shape your reality with words that match the future you're fighting for. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It's also one of the most misunderstood. Most people try to run from it, bury it, or pretend it never happened. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is a messenger. It carries the lessons you couldn't learn any other way. It holds the strength you didn't know you had. It reveals the depth of your character. And if you're willing to face it, feel it, and walk through it, it will transform you into someone unshakable. The truth is, some of the most powerful people you'll ever meet didn't become that way in comfort. They were built in the fire. They were shaped by adversity, molded by setbacks, and defined by how they responded to what tried to break them. They didn't let pain make them bitter. They let pain make them better. And that choice to take what hurt and turn it into something healing is the beginning of real purpose. Your pain has value when it's shared. What you went through wasn't just about you. It was preparing you to be a voice, a light, a guide for someone else who will face the same darkness. There's someone out there right now praying for a sign, begging for proof that they can survive what they're facing. And your story, your survival is the proof. Your scars are someone else's roadmap. Your comeback is someone else's permission to rise. Purpose doesn't always come wrapped in success. Sometimes it shows up in the ashes. Sometimes you only find it when everything falls apart and you're forced to rebuild. That process, painful as it is, awakens something in you that ease never could. It creates empathy. It births courage. It gives you perspective and a voice that resonates not from theory, but from truth. People don't need perfection. They need real. And real often comes from pain that's been processed into wisdom. You are more useful to the world because of what you've endured, not in spite of it. You understand struggle in a way that can't be faked. You know how to sit with someone in silence because you remember what it's like to feel invisible. You know how to encourage someone not with empty cliches, but with honest strength. The version of you that rose from heartbreak, rejection, failure, that version is powerful beyond words. Pain alone doesn't create purpose. It's what you do with the pain. Some people let it harden them. Others let it open them. Some stay stuck in the story. Others write a new chapter. Purpose comes when you say, this happened, but it's not the end. This hurt me, but it's not going to define me. I'm going to take this and use it. That mindset is what changes everything. That's when the fire that once burned you becomes the fire that fuels you. The most inspiring people are not those who had it easy. They're the ones who kept moving when it would have been easier to quit. They're the ones who turned their breakdown into a breakthrough. They're the ones who stood in the ruins of what they thought life would be and built something better. That's what people connect with. That's what gives hope. And that's what gives your life deeper meaning. There's no wasted experience when you choose to grow. There's no worthless pain when you choose to heal and help. Your greatest challenge could be the exact thing that opens the door to your greatest impact. You didn't go through it for nothing. You went through it so someone else wouldn't have to go through it alone.